Introducing Huda TV mobile application. It comes packed with all our programs, loaded with features you can't afford to miss on your mobile handset. You can now keep track of your prayer timings, calculate your zakah. Your closeness to Allah is even more closer with the adhkar. Most of all, we live stream everything from the application. Go to Google Play Store to install and get the full benefit of Huda mobile with you everywhere you go.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mpenzi mtazamaji, karibu tena katika kipindi kingine cha nasaha kwa umma, na pamoja na mimi katika studio ni an engineer by profession, Mr. Abel Smith. Karibu sana katika studio yetu. Jina langu ni Rahma Idi. Tarehe ya leo mpenzi mtazamaji ni tarehe 29 mwezi wa 6 mwaka wa 2021. Naam, katika mada yetu ya leo tutakuwa tukiangazia vehicle workshop, na nilivyosema mgeni wetu leo ni Mr. Abel Smith, who is an engineer by profession, a mechanical engineer to be precise. Na ningependa labda tuanze, na kabla hatujaanza ningependa kuwakumbusha wapenzi watazamaji kuhusu social media pages zetu ambazo ni @Huda TV Kenya kwa YouTube na Huda TV katika Facebook, na tutakuwa tuko live pale. Kuna live streaming ambayo pia unaweza tizama baada ya kipindi. Karibuni sana, na Mr. Abel, karibu katika studio yetu. It's an honor having you in our studio. Naam.
Thank you so much, and appreciate being here and to be able to share to everybody on my career and the opportunities on it.
Asante sana, na ningependa labda tukianza utuambie maelezo kidogo kukuhusu.
Nilisoma I did my schooling in Nairobi South.
Yeah.
Then after that I went for the secondary in Kisumu Senior. That's in Kisumu. Then after that, when I finished, I joined my brother in the industry of the engineering and repairs of motor vehicles. Yes.
That's nice. Ningependa kuuliza pengine Mr. Abel, did you veer into studies, or did you start just as a mechanic without studies?
I can say I just started without studies because when I joined my brother's workshop, I joined as a driver. Then as time goes, I started getting interested in the mechanical because I would see them doing some few things, and in my mind I would run how to do it. But I wouldn't say because I don't have that knowledge yet. But I would see the way that they solve the solution is what I was picturing in my mind. Yes.
That's nice. And what inspired you to go to school, like regarding the fact that you started as a mechanic? So what inspired you to go to school?
What inspired me to go to school is when I saw that I've started getting the interest of the engineering, and it's quite interesting, and it motivates you and it challenges you, because sometimes you can sort the issue very easily, sometimes it can take you time, and probably the interest that gains you and the motivation that drives you is the one which makes you going and stuff like that. Yes.
That's nice to hear, because tunajua kwa the youth out here, mostly the ones who are involved in mechanics and whatever, they are all looking towards securing this opportunity instead of maybe going to school and maybe having papers.
Okay, I can say for the papers, it's just a formality, because if you're getting employed, someone has to know that you have done this, you have done this qualifications. I can say like qualifications. But you find most that have gone through these things and now they're even better in our industry. They haven't gone through schooling and stuff like that due to the experience. The way I can say with driving, once you get the license, there's no time you'll go back and study about driving.
True.
So it's a matter of the experience you gain on the road, and the more you do it, the more experience you get.
Yeah.
So that's what I can say. So it's an opportunity. It doesn't matter that you have to go to school or not, because you can find that about mechanics, people think that, you know, there's those office work and things like that.
Yes, yes.
But for a mechanic, they say it's a dirty job and stuff like that. But it's, hands job and stuff like that, getting dirty. So probably you find that most of the people who are in this industry maybe drop out and things like that. But it's not really about that. It depends with your interest. And even if you see nowadays, it's the best job where you can survive even with these tough times.
True, true.
Because this is something that people use cars every day on the road. And definitely you'll always find that there's a breakdown or something due to even the time that we had the heavy rains. Most of the cars broke down. Yeah. So it's an opportunity, and it's a big industry that people who think that maybe they didn't do well or something like that, they can enter into the industry and see what they can do if they have the interest. That's it, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's a hands-on job. And
Yes.
It being a hands-on job, does it mean you have to have maybe a talent? Do you have to be like good at it, or can you learn while?
You can learn at it. The only thing is the interest. You know, in any job, I can say in any job, it doesn't matter whether it's flying, whether it's office work. It depends on your interest. If you don't have interest, then you're wasting your time.
It's true.
The interest is the most thing. And you know, the interest will drive you to know more and learn more and get to push yourself. It's like in school, the way that maybe you're competing with other students, or you want to be on the number 1, you want to be number 2, and things like being the top 10 and stuff like that. So it's always just your interest. That's what I can say. And the other thing is, with our work, it needs more trust. Yeah, because there's a lot of propaganda which is usually in it. That, you know, since you have come to me and you don't know what is concerning about the car, because a lot of people have bought cars, but they don't know what entails in a car.
Yes, yes.
So you find some other people take advantage. Yeah, they'll tell you this is spoiled and that one is not spoiled, in a way just to make an easy money. Yeah.
We've seen such instances. Yeah, it's happened about the batteries, for instance, of the car batteries. We've seen that sometimes the people get deceived. Yeah.
Yes.
So what happens when, as I picked up earlier that you're a trainer, so
Yes.
people come to your place and like get an attachment from you, the mechanics, maybe in school.
Yes, yes.
So in such an instance, what do you do as the trainer?
What I do, first I get to see the papers. I have to interview you a bit to know about your background, because you just can't accept anybody. You don't know what the intention the person is coming to. Is a stranger coming to you. So once they bring the papers, then they leave a copy of the papers. Then I tell them come next week. At that time I've already done my investigation. If it's true the guy was in that certain school and is free for attachment. Because, you know, with about cars is a personal property for people. So you just can't let anybody just come into it and stuff like that. So once we do the investigation is fine, then I tell him the next week once he comes, then he starts. Then now we start training him from there. The first thing we give him the basic to learn about the tools and things like that. Then he can, I point him towards with one of the mechanics who are already with me, so that they can get to be supervised and monitored, because each and every week they have to write a report of what they have learned and what they have done. So you find that most of them, even once they finish their attachment, then when they're going to looking for jobs and for jobs and stuff like that, you find even sometimes we recruit some who performed well, and we saw the interest and the trust was there, that they didn't tamper or interfere. You know, you find some that you bring them, they'll chill in the client's car with music, listening to music, starting to fiddle with things in the car and stuff like that. So those are the things we really check a lot and to see.
Can that like lead to the end of maybe the attachment of the individual?
Yes, in case we find that he's being negligent or he's not getting to listen to the supervisor to tell him what to do. And also we try them to ask as much question as possible. Don't just sit, because you find some that even we have stayed with them for about like even 3 to 4 months and you still ask them basic things and they wouldn't be able to answer the question, you see. So that one is probably, maybe it was just driven by the toughness of life, or maybe by the parents or something like that. So we're just saying, if you don't have the interest, there's no need you waste your time. Just find what you really want so that you can pursue.
And offset, I think we were talking about you having a passion for aviation, but then you changed it due to some certain...
Yeah, when I was in primary and high school, I wanted to do aviation a lot. I wasn't planning, like this thing for the workshop and mechanics just came. It was like just a life changer which came in. And for now, I'd really appreciate, because as I am right now, I'm self-employed. I have my own company. I'm not working for anybody. And you know, for now, if I was doing aviation, probably I would be answering to someone, working for someone. And now with that time, what made me change and lose at that time, I think they were saying that about the aviation, once you're wearing glasses that you can't do aviation and things like that. I was hearing from people, I wasn't very sure. So with that, when I was going to do the test and everything, because of the eyesight and stuff like that, I didn't get that. My spirit just went down. Yeah, though I was performing well and stuff like that, but my spirit just went down. So I said, let me just go with the flow of life and see how it is. At that time, when I finished school, my mom had traveled to the UK, so I had to run a business and watch over it. She has a saloon and boutique. So I was looking after that. Then that's the time that I was given two options: to go work with my cousin in Mombasa. He has a company which is called Tradcom. It deals with tools, bolts, nuts, a lot of things. Or come to work with my brother here in Nairobi, where he was he had a workshop. Yeah, so I had those two choices. So when I decided to go work with my cousin in Mombasa, but unfortunately family issues and stuff like that, I decided to go to work with my brother. And from there I was happy and everything, and so far I can't regret the line that I took. And I really do appreciate.
That's nice, because it's very interesting for you to shift from a passion in aviation to a passion in mechanical engineering.
That's true. From going upwards, you know, that you'll be flying, visiting cars, because me, I like to explore a lot. Like even now, it has come to a moment whereby anytime, like if I have a choice of flying to Mombasa and driving myself to Mombasa, I rather drive myself to Mombasa, because now that's my passion, where it is with cars and everything. And especially when you drive nowadays, like for me, I feel very comfortable because I'm driving with something that I know how the condition is and stuff like that. In case anything goes wrong, I know how to maneuver. Than being in a plane where now I'll have no idea. You see. Yeah, so I like nowadays, like traveling when I get the chance to move around and things like that. And I like also to do custom cars. Like there's one Land Rover I did. I got it, I just did it like a joke. Yeah, and it bared good fruit.
That's really nice to hear. So going back, maybe there's a student somewhere who feels like they want to venture into mechanical engineering. So how would you talk to this student in terms of maybe the basic skills a mechanical engineer should prepare themselves for or should have?
I can say the basic skills should be like, okay, one thing that you have to first, as I said, the interest. Once you have the interest, everything will flow. Because the basic things that you should know, it's like the tools first, what you're working with. Then from there, now you come like now from changing the tire, removing the tire and things like that. It's not something that complicated. That it's like, for example, if I give an example, is if you put like even for a woman, like being in the kitchen.
Yeah.
It's how you play around with your food and how you mix to make it better. But for the cars, it's once you understand this is this, like this is the tire, this is the disc, parts of the car. Once you know the parts of the car, what they do and things like that, then it'll be easy for you to be able to diagnose what the issue is with the car. It's not something that really needs a lot of skills, and anything that you feel that is really hard, you don't go to it direct. You do your investigation. There's internet nowadays everywhere which is provided.
Yes.
So you can go and research, because you find even the professionals, they go still research and to see, because each and every day you can't say like, for my career you have done everything and you know everything, you see. It's something that you learn. It's like life. When you're born, you crawl, then you start to walk and things like that. So it's something which comes along depending on your interest. And if that's the really, and the motivation that will drive you towards it. Yeah. So for the people out there, I can say that than sitting in the house, where that you'll find it hard to go. Maybe you find even nowadays, you find like people have gotten like an A, they have higher grades and stuff like that, but job opportunities are not there.
Yeah.
What I can say is you check into yourself and see what you really want. Then getting employed, if you can get even a place where that you can get like an attachment, get that experience. Then from there, you can grow your wings slowly by slowly, and you can start your own thing. Because nowadays it's very hard to depend on jobs. With this COVID and everything has come, a lot of people are being retrenched.
Yes, sure.
So if you're in a position of be able to like do your own, have your own career, have your own business going on and stuff like that, would be much better to do it. And for the other thing also, for the guys who are staying at home, for the attachment, it's quite easier for someone to come and accept. Though some other places is very hard to get. It depends which company you're going. But for me, I usually never choose. Because I always picture when someone comes to me, make a decision whereby you think that if it was you in that position, how do you approach it? You see?
Yeah.
So for me, like, I would advise them to, than sitting at home, being idle, get something what your interest is, then pursue it. It will help you. Because they always say nothing is begin like you begin and catch up. You always go to a struggle.
Yes.
But with time you'll bear the fruits and you'll enjoy it.
Yes.
As long as you're just trustworthy, honest, those are the only things which count. And from there, with God blessings and everything, it will come to you. Yeah.
I think that's quite important, because right now there's parents forcing their children to pursue certain careers that is not of interest to the child. That's why you see there's many doctors who are not even fully conversant with medicine and that field, but you'll find that this person is completely maybe into the art industry or such an industry. So I think it's quite a problem that we have now. You mentioned about the custom Land Rover, and I would like to know, I understand that you also do pimping.
Yes.
So have you ever had a project of, have you ever worked on a project that has flopped?
So far, not really. Yeah, because I did one so far to try it out and see how it will come. Whereby even my sister-in-law discouraged me and said that car now, the way you have dismantled it is done. I'm not going to lift it again. But if I didn't have the spirit to move on and stuff like that, even the time to the completion, she wanted to be a part of it, do something about it. So in life, I always say, not everybody will encourage you on what you're doing, but it's your faith which will keep you going. No matter you hear the negative or the positive, is your faith and your vision that you have for the end product.
Yes.
Either if you're gonna flop, once you fail, it's an experience to you.
Yes.
And once you make it, it's also a gain for you. So in life, it's always not a smooth road. They're usually up and down. It's just for you and your strength and your faith to keep you going. Yeah.
Now, and I think regarding this graffiti, I would really like to know, do these interns, for instance, do they come and do you teach them how to do the graffiti? And is it like an art that can be taught, or is it that it's just something that's in? Like
I can say with graffiti, if you have drawing skills, then you'll blend in it very easily. But if you don't have the drawing skills and you don't have, like even in school, you didn't like to draw, you didn't like to color, things like that, So it's something that you have grown up with, which comes to you and you want to pursue it to another level. Like you can find now maybe in the industry, about the drawing, the graffiti wasn't there.
Yes.
Cars were just simple even in the olden days.
Yes.
But now the innovation of trying something, you try something out, then the people around you also matters, because the people try, it looks nice and stuff like that, who did for you. Word of mouth will spread and stuff like that. Gives you more innovation, and people, like clients, when they come to you, not everybody wants the same thing. People want different things. Probably someone will go to the internet and see this one, will come to you and tell you, do you do this? Yes or no, you see. So it's a challenging job each and every day. But you have to have the interest and motivation and the patient able to learn about it. And from there, you'll just move on nicely. Yeah.
I think it's of interest that people, or the students, for instance,
Yes.
the students from certain schools, let's say TUK or whatever, the ones who you're attached to, do they come and take this attachment seriously, or is it that it's not a white collar job, they tend not to take it seriously?
Now, from that one, it depends. There's some people who take it seriously. There's some other people who are just doing it for the sake. The way you said it as before, you find the parents are pushing their kids to something that they don't really want. Like, for example, if I'm a doctor, then I want to push my son to be a doctor. Doesn't make sense. Get to invest in your child in a way that you'll get to find out what he really wants. And when he's moving, get to concentrate on your child and see what is his strength, what is his weakness. You can give him a guidance, but don't choose for him on what or she wants to do. That's what I can say. Because you can find nowadays that before, like this white collar job, people are running for them and things like that. And you can find it now most in life, people who do like businesses, do this other work and stuff like that. In life now, they're the most in the top, like the richest, you'll find, yeah. But you find these white collar jobs, you get comfortable, you're being employed. You're working for at the end of the day, you know your salary will be there. But you know, if it's something that you're doing it by your own, you have to work hard to know that if I don't work hard, I won't be able to achieve. I won't be able to pay my bills and things like that. So I can say that the best thing is usually the person himself to able to know that this is really what I want, and it will come naturally. It's not something that you're forcing it, but something you're forcing it will take you so much time, you'll have wasted time, and at that time you'll find that you can't recover the time that you've lost concentrating on something that you didn't really want. Like you find even some other students, like once they've done for the medicine, picture how many years is that the person has done the medicine. Then later on he comes and gives the parent, okay, this is the degree you wanted, let me now go do what I want to do. You've already wasted the time for the child. Whereby that the kid would have already grown to something that he really wants, he would have been already someone on this country.
Yeah, and speaking about riches, do you think in this industry it's all about getting the money, or is it passion driven? What is it like from your point of view?
What I can say, there are some, like in our job, all the categories count, because they'll find someone who's following after money. You'll find, like for me, what I usually do, I follow after my job. Then the money will come. Don't look into the money, because you'll find that some other people, when you go to them, they'll tell you, give me a deposit. Because they're not so sure of whether if the thing will succeed, will go smoothly or not. At the end of the day, he has nothing to lose. He already has your money.
Yes.
But for me, I would prefer that you bring, let me do it. If you're happy with it, you pay me. I give you the quotation and things like that. And once you agree to it, we're in the same understanding, then you pay me. For that one, I feel it's more comfortable. Even the client feels more trusting you than asking for you a deposit. Depends. There's some other scenario you can, maybe due to the situation, maybe you don't have to fund and you don't have the fundings to do the job and things like that. It can be a challenging. But at the end of the day, don't look after the money. Always look after your job. Whatever you do and things like that, with the blessings will come the money.
Yes.
Yeah, because this money comes and goes. But whatever you do, the implication that you do to someone is what counts. Because you find some other people even receiving money, you have done a job, maybe after a week the car's broken down. When the client brings it back to you, you start complaining and saying that you already did the work, and now you have to pay extra for this and this. Probably maybe it was a manufacture error of the part, or else you didn't do a proper job, whereby that you've already taken the money and now you can't fulfill to the satisfaction to the client to be happy. You see. So what I can say, if you're following about money, then in any work, if you're following about money, then you're in the wrong, whatever, that's a wrong decision. Getting rich is not the problem. Is your implication on your, what can I say, it's your implication on this world, what you have done to others. Like you find even rich people now have already died, they had money and stuff like that. But people remember them for what they did, is not for what they have.
Yes.
Like even now you can see most of our big leaders have gone, they're not there. Who remembers, like for example, like even Moha, who remembers what he has? People remember that maziwa ya Nyayo, which people used to have and stuff like that. You see, those are the implications whereby that people remember you on what you did. Like for me, I never advertise. Most probably is word of mouth which sells me. And when you do good to someone, definitely you'll be rewarded.
Yes.
And you find that one person probably has a chain of 10 or 20. You never know. So never choose any job to do. Do whatever you can. If you can, take the job in, you can do it. Then the rest will come.
I think we had to put that across, and I think what you've said is quite, like, it's the truth. It's the truth without a doubt.
Yes.
And whenever you do good, it will always come back to you.
That's
I
true.
think
that's what I
important.
believe. Yeah. And once you're honest and trustworthy, and never take something which is not yours. Take what is duly owed to you.
Yes.
Yeah. The rest, leave it aside. Even if it's excess, leave it aside. Because you find, like there's some other clients, even they come with pressure, they want to tell you that, can you paint my car within a week? I'm willing to pay even double or triple. Which, you know, at the end of the day, if it's after the money, I'll go for the money. I'll say, yes, I can do it. But at the end of the day, you check out your end results. Will you really do it or not? You see. So you say, no, let the money go, but you keep your honesty and your satisfaction to your work, and you move on.
Thank you, Mr. Abel. Wapenzi watazamaji, ningependa tuende mapumziko mafupi, but we'll be right back after the break.
Ukiona sema, ukisikia sema, ukishuku Sema, ripoti tatizo lolote la usalama kupitia SMS 988. Namba yako haitaonekana. Ujumbe huu hautakugharimu chochote. Weka akaunti yako na mtaa ambapo uhalifu unatendeka. Mulika uhalifu. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na Wizara ya Mambo ya Ndani na Uratibu wa Serikali ya Kitaifa.
Introducing Huda TV mobile application.
The time is not like even the way I started it, I didn't have everything. And then now I'm still getting things, buying things each and every day to make my work easier. So with this being self-employed, the advantage of it, you're a boss of your own. And you can always make it as an empire, and always there's no one to be able to control you, do this, do that, or get into conflicts with. You can have your peace, you can have time to do whatever you want to do. Like even if you're going for safaris and things like that, some other places maybe it's an important thing that you want to go and spend like with your family and stuff like that. But if you're employed, probably they'll tell you, no, you have to do this, you have to do that. So that's how we get so missed out on the family, that things of the world have taken over our lives. Because now most of the people, their goal is being rich. Okay, being rich is good, makes your life comfortable, but does it bring you happiness? It doesn't. You find that we have been driven so much away from the important things in our lives, in the things of the property, like cars, the wealth and everything, that you forget even the time to spend with your family and get to know that how did your son wake up, how did he sleep, or your daughter or something like that. Like for me, I usually take every morning to drop my kid to school, so I can spend that small time with her. I guess she can tell me how the school is and things like that. And because sometimes I get late with my work because I have to probably to deliver. So you find when I drop her in the morning, you become a part of her life.
Yes.
You see. So with that, it'll be better guidance. You become like a now, sometimes you can become a father and you can become a friend to your daughter or son. And that's how you learn them. You can know what they're doing. Because nowadays, you find a lot of kids have gone into drugs and things like that. By the time you realize, it's maybe a year down the line or 6 months down the line. But the question is, you'll blame your kid, you'll beat your kid and things like that. But the question is, where were you at that time when he was getting involved into these things?
No.
And you know, if they would have given the motivation, or even say that, even one question that I can ask around is, when have you ever gone to ask your kid that probably maybe has finished school, he has a degree, and which chance do you get to ask him, what do you like to do? Which support can I give you for you to start what you want to do? You see. But if you find most is like, go look for a job, get employed, you're just sitting in the house, things like that. So already that one is already a downfall to the child already. Yeah.
And I think, yes, it's very true. Employment really takes much of your time. It really, really consumes a lot of your time. But you've mentioned matters regarding the painting of the cars. I think most of us, me being one of them, I think we really, really have little knowledge towards maybe your expertise. And you've said painting a car, it might take a week or plus, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, most probably we can say for a good paint work, depending on the condition, for a normal, like a basic, give it like 2 to 3 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
And why is that? Because we really see painting is, okay, from my point of view, I used to think painting is not that much of a work. Maybe if you're painting, let's say the sun, or you're doing your own artwork, it doesn't really consume that much time. So does it have anything to do with putting a top layer or waiting?
For the paint, I can say it's a procedure. You know, for painting, you already have a paper. And once either it's an oil paint or it's a water paint, you just paint it. So there's nothing onto it. But coming to the bodyworks, it's a process that you have to go through, because there's the panel beater who has to straighten up the body in case the body has dents and things like that. Then after that, we have to do like the first primer. It's called the primer. You do the primer, enable to check if the body has been straightened properly, and from there, once it's straightened properly, now you can proceed to the next, enable doing the first coat. Once you do the first coat, you have to check it again, because once you do the top coat and the clear, if a mistake that you didn't see, you have to repeat it all again. Yeah, so that's the process, and you have to give it also time to dry, enable to do that. So it's something, and also, you know, when the car comes, you have to also to dismantle it. So there's a lot of things entailed onto it. But if you're just doing like a panel, like a front bumper, maybe 2 days or something like that. But there's some other people who have machines like the baking room and things like that. They can do it within a week. Because there, you know, for us, there's people that don't have like the baking room and everything due to the weather. They go with the weather condition. If the weather is hot, it will dry it faster. But if the weather is like, for example, there's no sun and stuff like that, it will take time for it to dry. Yeah, because if it doesn't dry properly, with time it will have repercussions where probably the paint will start cracking, or it will start chipping because it didn't dry properly. So it's a process that it has to go through. Yeah.
It's quite a process, and I think adding on the skills that a mechanical engineer should have, I think patience is such a skill.
Yeah, patience is the best. Like, for example, like for me, what I usually do is like, I usually try to be able to sort out the client, like giving him one of my cars, so that you can have good time with the car, enable to do it in a perfect condition where that she'll be happy with it, or he will be happy with it. So it gives you like how she can do her own renders and stuff like that while you proceed on. Yes.
I think, as we've said, it's really quite a process. Yeah. And I think we tend to believe that in this industry, you really need a network of people. Yeah, and I think also with regards to what you do, I think you need quite a network. Is it as we say or as we think, or?
With network, it comes. And the good job that you've done sells itself. Because, for example, now if you do for a client a paint work, probably he goes to the office. To the way the condition was and to the way it is right now, people will ask you, where did you take your car? Painting.
Definitely.
So you'll get that recommendation to a happy client. But if the client wasn't happy, it was very hard. It'll be very hard for you to get recommendations and things like that. So you usually work on the satisfaction is the one which will grow your network. Because people talk, people communicate. And through knowing you, you're the one who will introduce me probably to your friend, to your buddy, or to your boss, or something like that. So that's how it starts. It usually starts with one. So it's not a matter that if you're getting into this industry, you have to have like 20 networks or something like that. No, it only starts to one. It's like a tree, the way you grow it.
Yes.
Or if you're making your own garden or something like that, you only start at a point, then the rest will follow. So it's not about having a lot of clients, having a lot of networking and stuff like that. As time goes, everything will, it's like a puzzle. Life is like a puzzle. Everything will fit itself into place. As long you're true, honest, and you do your job to your best.
Yes, to your best.
And the more satisfaction you get, the more you grow. The less of satisfaction you get, the more you go down. So those are the things.
I think that's important as well. And I really wanted to bring across this issue. We're really looking to empower the youth. So what are the opportunities that you would probably tell the youth are out there in this industry?
About empowering the youth, like if they would give an opportunity, like recently I've seen like most of the time, like from I think, is it 5 or 10 years ago, you find like they were trying to open a lot of car washes around, so people can, the youth can come and join and do the car wash, because that's the basic. You don't need anything to do it. But even though about that, even you open this car wash and probably the person who's washing for you the car is not that honest and that proper, you'll always be fearing to take places, your cars to this place. So if they can get better like management and things like that, it would be much better. Because, you know, probably like maybe I've left my car for wash and I've run somewhere and probably I've forgotten my phone. What are the chances I'll get my phone? You see, it's very less. And you'll find probably someone jeopardizing the career or the opportunity by just stealing the phone, you see.
Yes.
So maybe steal the phone, leave your car unattended to, and probably run away. So the best thing I can say, if like in our industry, if you can go around, approach like estates and stuff like that, talk to the parents and things like that, and tell them that we want your kids to, if they have interest, to join in the mechanical engineering, and also you can support us by bringing your car for services. So you see, you have killed two birds with one stone.
Yes.
Because now you have removed the kid from the house, and also you have also gotten a job from there. So you see, so it's a gain-gain situation. Yeah.
And do you face, like at an individual level, do you face competition as much, and do you think you have to up your game because there's certain someone doing something better?
Yeah, that one is, I can say, for like our industry, it has flocked the market. And what now keeps you going, it's now the job of standards. Because now if you see someone improving, don't feel bad about the person improving. Be happy for him. Check yourself out. What can I do also to improve myself? To thrive also. If it's something that you're trying, like maybe something that you don't have that probably would make your job better, more easier, work towards it. Probably to get it so that you can do a better one. Because the challenges are the one which makes you perfect. If there's no one to challenge you, who will you ever compare your skills or your tactics with? So if you have that, challenges is the one drives you. And that one, I really appreciate, even if I get to know someone is good in something really good, I'll get also to learn more and get to know more, you see. And also, like even in our industry, you find some other things there. It's a challenging. You ask around. You see, if I've ever approached this situation, how can I go about it and things like that. But it's not something that you just jump into it and you have no clue. Probably it's probably a simple thing. And you're going so deep that probably interfere with other things which was aren't supposed to be interfered with and stuff like that. So with this thrive of getting challenges around, that's what drives me. That's my motivation. I'm usually happy. Like most of the time, my workers are the ones who do the work. But when it comes to something challenging, they get me involved.
Yes.
So we can work as one to sort out the issue. Yes.
I also think for the benefit of the viewers, maybe if you'd like to put across is this, yes, we've seen a lot of car washes almost everywhere now, being set up in every place.
Yes.
And I think that's of an advantage because from my point of view, maybe you don't have to pay for the establishment of, maybe for instance, like I establish somewhere in this area, like a car wash for instance. Do you get to pay license for that area, it being an open area?
Yeah, you have to pay because, you know, with our government, they'll try each and every way to get the revenue for them to recover. But if the government would support the youth and give them a place where, like, for example, if they can do like a workshop, they build like a workshop, and get someone like who can be a supervisor and get them involved.
Yes.
Especially like these cars for like the counties and things like that, because they're the ones who are benefiting from the revenues and stuff like that. Would be really help a lot of people to come out from the houses, come out from doing robberies and things like that. Like now the rates for robbery has become really high due to lack of jobs. And you know, at the end of the day, sometimes you can't really blame them because probably you have a family to survive, you had a job before, then your job ended, you had a family, you had that substance, like your kid now, when you come home, he doesn't want to know either you got something, you didn't get something.
Yes.
The kid knows that I should eat at this time, I should go to school at this time and things like that. So those are the challenges people get. So it drives them to doing things that probably they don't want, but enable for their family to survive. Yeah.
Quite a challenge, I think.
It's really a challenge, but the thing is getting the support. Like even parents, if even people can make like circles, enable to empower the youth and things like that, I think it drive them into a proper place than just letting them sit in the house and trying to solve. Because even the influence that you're with around, like probably maybe you never gotten into like stealing or something like that. You find you meet someone tells you, now you don't have money, I have a job for you. You weigh the odds. Maybe your life is on the line. You don't know. But you weigh your options and things like that, and you say, what, at the end of the day, I have nothing. What do I have to lose? You see? And at home, you have demand that whereby that, you know, your family, you'll bring something in the house and stuff like that. Yeah.
So what are the requirements for one to have, like, to open up their own garage?
Once you have a spot, then you have like the basic tools and things like that. And you have an experience. That's first, because if you don't have the experience of doing the mechanical engineering, you can't do it. So probably what I would urge, like for you go for like attachments, like even if you're not being paid. Like for me, before I started with my brother, I was working with my sister. She has a tour company. I worked with her for, was it, I think 6 months to a year, without no pay or anything. But I used to sometimes drive the buses. I used to take her to point A to point B. She was in Tanzania, but she came in to Nairobi. So I was taking her around and things like that. But there, I wasn't looking after the money or being paid. I was looking after, now I'm increasing my experience on driving. I'm getting to learn places. Those are the things I was now putting in my mind. I'm getting to know, as I move on, getting to find my place on this world, what I really want to do and stuff like that, due to my aviation career went down. So we went around. Sometimes that when the car is being worked on, I take the car at the workshop. We stay probably the whole day. You get to see what they do and things like that. So with that job of line, knowing that you want to keep yourself busy, gave me the drive now to move ahead and decide on what I really want to do. Yeah, because if there, like, for example, like sometimes you can't get that opportunity to do exactly what you really want to do, but you can go around it. And you can come to that point that you want. The issue is when you start to one point that you don't want to move around, you won't be able to see other doors which are around you, that where you can enter, gain a bit, come out from that door, enter to another one, gain a bit, and at the end of the day, you come and set up your goal. But you find this is what I want, so you just stick by it. It's like even me, some other cars, when fixing them, you find it really hard. So sometimes you have to take a break, do something else to divert you. And by the time you come back to it, you'll find that you'll sort it out in a very few time. So sometimes with the pressure and everything, always like blocks your mind, that you don't see what is really there. Something might be, maybe the issue is just might be in front of you. But that pressure you have, the peer pressure that you have, blocks you away from it and gives you more time that at the end of the day, you aren't able to solve. So sometimes you have to go through around to get where you want. Yeah,
I think that's quite important. And we've mentioned about the car washes. I would really like to know, are such opportunities open to female? Because we've seen, okay, right now we've seen most females doing the car wash, and they are not quite familiar with the hands-on.
Yes.
Let's say the mechanics. And would you advise them to veer into that, them being females? Yeah, so can they really push through? Because we know it's a really hands-on work, and are there females who do it?
Yes, they are. And one thing I can say nowadays, you know, before we used to have like, these are jobs for the men, these are the jobs for the women.
Yes.
But nowadays, even if you see in the industry, like drivers, you find matatu drivers who are women.
Yes.
On conductors, you find some of them are women. Nowadays, I believe what a man can do, a woman can do better. So it's not about what I can do, what I can do, is what your passion is. Like for the car wash, once you get a space, you don't need much. You know, a car wash doesn't have a much of an investor. Once you get like a proper machine for the car wash, the pressure wash, then you have a spot, and you do your area where it's a bit cleaner, because you know you find some other people washing the car, but by the time the car comes out, probably the road is not properly done.
Yeah.
You find already the car has dust, you see. So if the government would help to make roads and stuff like that, get a place where it's clean and stuff like that, where even if you park it, even the client is coming to pick the car in the evening, the car is still clean. But there's some other place, once you park the car, even if you washed it nicely, due to the roads around it, you find the car getting dirty again. So never specify that this is a man's job, this is a woman's job. As long as you have the passion for it, you can do it. Because nowadays you find like women, even in the car wash, they do really good job than men, because it's like they wash the car like it's their own house. Because you know, they always say the women are the ones who are the alphas in the house. So it depends also how you keep your house and things like that. So whatever reciprocate upon your client is reciprocates upon you. So the way you can do someone's work, do it as your own. Then you know you'll have given your best, and the other person will appreciate. But if you just do it like now, your own things, you take too much time, but others people you don't take too much time, it won't be fair and equal.
No.
That's what I can say. But I can say that for a job, don't choose. If you don't have a choice of getting what you really want, or maybe your family doesn't have the support to give you what you really want, find your way around it. Don't just stuck to one point, you want this and stuff like that, and sit down. Find a way around it, and if you believe and trust, you'll manage on what you really want.
No, lastly, ningependa pengine tuwapatie nasaha the youth out there ambao wameona kuwa pengine mechanic job, the mechanic job, it probably has a lot of money, and pengine amekuja hiyo attachment and anafaa kurudi skuli, but anaona kuwa it's haoni the importance of going back to school, anaona the money for that child at that time, the money is everything. So what advice can you give such a student?
What I give the student is, life is not about money. Life is what you do, is what will bring the money. If you are looking after the money so much, then you lose concentration on your work, because your work will just be good to get money. That's why you find like some other places you go, someone tells you that guy conned me, this one, he said he did this and he did not do this, and things like that. So never look after the money. Look after your work and the money will follow you. That's what I can say. And with money, they always say it's a root of all evil. The more money you get, the more money that it will take over you, that way you lose yourself and you lose your track. Because now you'll be now overcharging the clients, you'll be creating things which are not even there in the client's car, able to get money. But the little that you get, appreciate it, and that's how you grow. Because then getting one client who will give you probably 100,000, and getting 20 clients who will give you maybe that 100,000, and you have gotten it the right way, and you'll also do it, you'll do with that money that you get a proper thing that you'll see, now I've achieved this. The way I usually say, easy come, easy go. Yeah, because even like for me, the student who probably is having an issue on the transport, and I always remove my own money to be able to give the kid the transport enabled to and fro, because you find probably maybe he might come late and stuff that he would explain to you the issues about transport, and my family can't sustain and stuff like that. Like some, I usually offer food for all my workers and the trainees also. I don't choose, so since you're a trainee, you sort yourself out and stuff like that. You give them, and you find them that even after the attachment and stuff like that, you're the first person they want to come to.
Yes. Because
you welcome them as a home, and you work as a family. So that's the security you should give them. to Abel, and you teach them that it's not about money. It's about the job that you do, and at the end of the day, the money will follow. Don't look after the money because you lose your track on the job. Yes.
Thank you Mr. Abel. Na mpenzi mtazamaji, tumefika tamati ya kipindi chetu cha leo, na ningependa labda kugusia nasaha ambayo mgeni wetu amegusia, na ametuhusia kuwa self-employed. Na kwa hivyo vijana ambao wanatafuta kazi kule nje, starts with your own talent. Now, our topic today being vehicle workshops and workshops in general. Start with your own talent, then build, and your network will build, as he said earlier. Alisema pia kila safari huanza na hatua. Naam, kama sijakosea. Na pia ni muhimu sana tusifikirie kuhusu pesa, because we can't make it like an individual state. You cannot make it starting now, then you can't start 1,000,000 shillings with one shilling. Yes, so patience is very key. Na mpenzi mtazamaji, ningependa kufunga kipindi chetu na nimshukuru mgeni wetu Mr. Abel. Kesho insha Allah tupatane papa hapa wakati huu. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Introducing Huda TV mobile application. It comes packed with all our programs, loaded with features you can't afford to miss on your mobile handset. You can now keep track of your prayer timings, calculate your zakah. Your closeness to Allah is even more closer with the adhkar. Most of all, we'll live stream everything from the application. Go to Google Play Store to install and get the full benefit of Huda mobile with you everywhere you go.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن